In this video, we're going to go over how to create drawings in Fusion 360. So first we will talk about how to create a drawing of a single component, and then after that we will talk about how to create a drawing of our exploded assembly. To follow along, you'll want to open up the lab where we created this roller here and make sure that it's all jointed together as it should be. We will be creating drawings in third angle projection, but sometimes this is not the default that Fusion 360 has. So I want you to click where it says your name up here and click Preferences. Once our window opens up, we'll click here where it says Drawing. And I want you to change this to third angle. It's possible it says first angle, so make sure that it says third angle. We'll change our sheet size to 17 by 11 and make sure that our standard is ASME. Once you have all those things correct, so projection angle, third angle, standard, ASME, and sheet size 17 by 11, go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to click here where it says Design and click Drawing. We're going to create a drawing from our design to start. So click Drawing from Design. And at this point, this window is asking us, do we want to create a drawing of the entire assembly? And in this case, no, we do not. So let's uncheck that. Oh, first, before we create our drawing, let's make sure that our object is lined up as it should be. So perhaps your drawing or your object looks something like this and it's not lined up, to the front and it's at this angle. So we're going to go to Modify, Align, and we're aligning components from, so we could select this bottom and we want to align it with this plane right here. And I'll click OK. You might have to do that for several planes to get everything lined up. So when you look at the front, it looks like this. When you look at the right, it looks like this, and the top like this. So everything's at nice 90-degree angles. Okay, so now we're going to go over here where it says Design. We're going to click Drawing from Design. We're going to uncheck Full Assembly, and we're going to select the component that we want to create the drawing for. So in this case, let's select our bracket. So I'm going to click the bracket, and we'll do a template from scratch, standard ASME, units we can change, or I think we modeled this in millimeters, so we'll keep it in millimeters. And our sheet size is going to be 17 by 11. I'll click OK, and we'll change into this environment here. The first drawing view I'm going to place is my base view. So this will be my front view. Right here it says front. We're going to draw this with visible and hidden edges. And if I hover over my page, this looks very small. So let's change our scale to a 1:1 scale so that we can fill up the page here. And I'm going to place this where I want it. I'm going to, move it around. I'm going to place it where I want it, and I'm going to click once, and then I'll come over here and click OK. Once I click OK, my drawing has appeared. This is my base view. I'm going to go to Drawing Views, and I'm going to add a projected view. The keyboard shortcut for this is P. To add a projected view, we're first going to select our base view. So I'll select my base view. I'm going to pull this upwards. So because this is third angle, this is now my top view. I'm going to pull it as far as I want it and then click. I'm going to do the same for my right view. I'm going to pull it out here and click. And once I'm done placing my two views, my top and my right view, I'll click the Enter key. And now I have my front, my top, and my right view. Lastly, I'm going to add an isometric view here, but I don't want the hidden lines. So instead, I will do another base view where I just have visible edges and it says representation. I want to do this from storyboard 2, or sorry, not storyboard 2. Reference reference is right here, and it should be lab 10 there. And instead of front view, let's choose our northeast isometric. We want the scale to be the same that we had used before. And we're going to click here so that we only have visible edges. We don't want hidden edges on our isometric view. I'm going to go ahead and click, and then click OK. And now we see we have this nice drawing with our third angle orthographic and our isometric drawing. We can save this as a drawing, and you can save it in your folder. So you have to do this for your project, and if you just save it in your folder like this, you don't have to print it or anything. Save it in your folder, and then I can open it up that way to make sure that you've done the drawings required. So next we'll do our exploded assembly drawing. So I'm going to go back to my design. So note how we have two kind of tabs open here. I'm going to go back to the design, and I'm going to go from design to animation. And we'll see I already have an animation here, so I'm going to create a new storyboard. You probably don't already have an animation, so don't worry too much about what I just did there. When you open this, it will look like this. And we're going to use this animation, and we can transform different objects. So I'm going to start with my bracket. I'm going to drag it away. Note I'm exploding this along either the X, Y, or Z axis, and I'll click OK. When I do that, something appears here in my storyline, and I can play my storyline or my storyboard, and it shows that object being transformed out. So we'll also transform all of our objects so that they're no longer overlapping one another. Or maybe if I mess up my transformation, I can just delete it and start over. So I'm just transforming these things along the isometric lines so that they don't overlap each other, so that I can create a nice exploded assembly drawing. I'll click OK, and lastly I should transform this down. And if I play my storyboard, it does all of that at once, which is fine. I could also drag these so that they go kind of one by one. If I click play, now see that things are kind of taken apart piece by piece. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and that will save my storyboard here in my design. If I wanted to, if I was creating a presentation or something like that, I could publish this as a video and then put that into my PowerPoint. I could put it on a web page, anything like that. So you can publish this video and use it in other instances. So here I'm going to click animation drawing, and now instead of doing a drawing from design, I'm going to do a drawing from animation. I'm going to select storyboard 3 because that's the one that I just created, and I'll click OK. We are back in the drawing environment, and here it says what orientation do we want. We want our northeast isometric, which in my case happens to be the same as home. We're going to do visible edges only, and let's see if we can fit a 1:1 scale. It looks like almost. I might go back to my design and change this up a little bit and maybe move the base, but I would try to make this as big as possible to still fit on the page. So, and I would click and click OK. So I would go back to my animation here and change where this base is. So let's go here. We're going to transform that. We can transform it this way, then click OK. Let's see if that updated. It didn't, so we'll have to go through that process again now that my base is not going to overlap with my title block. So I'm going to go to animation, drawing, from animation, create a new drawing from storyboard 3, click OK. And my scale, I'm going to do 1:1. I see that I can now fit this all on the page. I'll click, and then I'll click OK. So now I have a nice exploded assembly drawing. Right here, these two are a little close together, so I would probably move one or the other so that they're not so close together. But hopefully you get the idea of how to create your exploded assembly drawing, as well as third angle orthographic drawings for your project for this class.